Hey now, welcome back to Lone Star Mini Restoration. Today I plan on removing the valance panel. I'm going to bring the camera in and studying the valance panel and how it's attached, or how I believe it's attached, because I want to get this guy removed. What I have found already, and I'm going to show that real quick, is there's a whole heck of a lot of filler on this. But let me bring the camera in real quick. All right off the bat, as you can see, this is the valance panel here. There is this corner plate. I'm going to call it a plate assembly because it's got this plate that matches the contour of the valance, and then it has a 90-degree bend to it. Well, it's two plates, but it's welded here, but it goes back in here. I believe that this flange right here where I'm pointing is the only flange that, well, inside, underneath, is the only one that attaches to the valance, and it looks pretty gnarly. I mean, it looks like, let's see here. Let me move my flashlight. Oh, here we go. So, like right here, there's a whole heck of a lot of separation going on. So I don't know how this is attached. I'm thinking it's like maybe spot welded here on this edge and then spot welded back here. This bolt goes nowhere. That sucker is just there. I think they ground off the stud on the far side, but that's nothing. So I need to find a spot weld here and here, I think. And then that's it. Well, the only other flange is up here. This guy right here, and you can see, look at all this, you see all this white film? That's because I started grinding. This flange, I believe that bracket attaches to this flange of the valance panel. So I started grinding down the paint to find the spot welds, and what I found was a whole heck of a lot of filler. So now that I'm looking at it, this whole thing has filler all over it, just hiding rust. So you have this bracket on both sides of the car. You have one here, and then you have one down at the bottom, down here. And likewise, this one is not attached very well. So upon, what I believe is going on here, in addition, the scuttle wraps up and it attaches to the boot panel via this horizontal flange right here. And what I think is going on here is I think there's three layers. I think you have a flange from this boot panel, you have a flange from the valance panel, and you have a flange from the boot floor, all coming together right here. So and now that I'm looking at it, look at this. Look at the separation in there. I think there's a heck of a lot of filler going on. But I'm going to start grinding that down and see what's there. Okay, so I had to stop grinding just so that I could pull the camera in to show. This is crap. Every time I touch the car, I'm reminded that I paid way too much for this car. Of course, I bought it sight unseen, and yeah, this thing had, my gosh, an 1/8 of an inch thick of Bondo, of filler. If I'm correct, if there's a flange from the boot panel, a flange from the boot floor, and a flange from the valance panel, I think there's only one left, and I don't know which one it is. I'm thinking it might be the boot floor, because this flange, like right here, looks like it may have belonged to this panel. So crap. Now, yeah, this is just frustrating because now I'm looking at potentially either a patch panel or a new panel here because there's no flange. There's no flange here. I'm going to continue on. Look at this. I mean, they put filler inside between flanges. And look at that. You can see it's all white. You can see it's all white along here. Just from the filler. Yeah, so I'm going to continue on with this. I'm going to clean it up and see what I have before I start trying to remove anything. I'm just going to get rid of all the filler, get rid of all the paint. I decided to take off the paint on the back panel up to the bottom of the boot lid all the way across because I wanted to see what kind of metal I was dealing with. It seems like every time I touch this car, I cringe because I paid way too much for it. Now there's more panel, more metal that I've got to replace. But I just wanted to show you once again. Oh, and this bad boy, these nylon brushes, they're not any good at all for removing rust. But if you need to remove paint and filler, these things are fabulous. But I wanted to show you how thick this daggum filler stuff is on this Bondo, whatever the heck it is on this panel. It's sickening, really. So look at this. I mean, you can see I've stripped the paint all the way up, and then I've started underneath the left taillight. I've started getting more into the filler material, and this stuff is just caked on. So I'm expected to strip this whole thing, and there not be any metal in here as far as part of the back panel. I'm thinking it's all going to be gone, just like the other side. But look at that. Look how thick that stuff is. These cheap magnets that I have, I won't mention the company. But I'm disgusted with these magnets. The graphics are fabulous, right? That's a cool graphic. But man, the magnet they put on them, they're horrible. Well, today I found a great use for them, just to go around and put, the magnet so I know where there's metal. And all in here, this sucker, there's nothing. It won't. A cheap magnet won't pick up the metal. As you can see here, I've ground down, and up here I can see some of the spots. This metal looks like it was patched on this lip. I'm thinking at some point in the past they just did these patch jobs to hold everything together. In this area from here to here, you can't see my lower hand, but from here to here there's no spot welds, but there's a seam weld along the edges. So I figure if I take those little seam welds off, this little section right here will come out. But there was so much filler, it was unreal. I'll take you around real quick to show you. All right, so you can see the metal. I mean, there's not much metal left. I don't know what this is from. Right now I can't really tell if it's from the back panel. I think this is from the boot floor. I think the back panel flange is rusted out. It's gone. But you can see I've removed all the filler. In fact, I got carried away. I removed paint and filler all the way up to here. There was so much of it, but I just took it off because I wanted to see what this metal was like. But coming in, you can see it all gone. Let me go to the other side, and here, I mean, you can see this is just. I think this piece was part of the back panel. This flange, and I found in here there was a whole bunch of loose metal. I think they just covered it up with Bondo or filler, whatever you want to call that stuff. But look at it. I mean, it's just coming apart. But I started to take away around here. I wanted to see what I was dealing with. All this metal's gone. All right, I think I have the valance completely detached. And before, I haven't pulled it off yet, but on the right hand side, when I pull, I can't hear myself. On the right hand side, when I pulled the corner off the valance, all kinds of crumbled up newspaper fell out. Oh, all right. So, yep, likewise on this side. I mean, I don't know what processes these people use, but why do they stuff these things with newspaper? I don't get it. Look at this. I don't understand at all. All right, so for the most part, the valance is off, and I'll have to mention that in here, you know, the metal was all just rotted away. It wasn't even attached at all because there was no flange here. But it's off, and as you can see, if the camera's picking this up behind me, that is all just totally rusted out. What was I thinking when I thought, oh, I'll try to reuse brackets, right? Psh, right. But if anybody knows, is there a process? I mean, why would people crumple up newspaper and put inside this pocket area of the valance panel? Is there a reason for that? I don't know. I would love to know. If anybody has an idea, please let me know. All right, so with the valance gone, you can see, and I was careful. I was pretty careful until right there at the end when I just said, you know, screw it. I see all the rust. I'm going to have to replace the bracket. I'll just cut this out as well. But look at all this. I mean, it's just, it's just pretty nasty. The other side was similar. But look at that. That's pretty bad. All right, well, the valance is off, and I'm going to clean up all the metal on the ground and clean up the boot floor a little bit. I'll probably take those brackets off the boot floor. I'll cut those away most likely. What was I thinking, right? I thought I could reuse some of the brackets. Yeah, not. So anyhow, I'm going to call this one a wrap. Valance is off. Now it's just clean up, and then I'll start looking at the floor, the boot floor. All right, thanks for joining in. Bye just now.